Hello. It's Cool Mess Car Guy, back with a commentary. Since I was only able to extract the audio for the video I am going to be talking about, I will provide an avatar for the video in question. The video I am commentating on is called Millennials Fight Back, a parody of a 60 Minutes report from 2007 about Generation Y growing up and leaving for the workplace. The creator of the parody is a group called Twixters, headed by Dan Speerin. Admittedly, I enjoy some of the sketches Dan's channel, Cynically Tested, puts out. Also, before we actually get into the video, I found the original 60 Minutes report surprisingly accurate with my experience, albeit somewhat ageist. Now, let us begin.
They're young, they're self-indulgent, and by 2010, millennials will outnumber both Gen Xers and baby boomers.
I'd like to note that Dan has referenced the size of Generation Y on multiple occasions. I get the feeling somebody's a tad insecure.
Who exactly are millennials? We sent out our own me to find out.
This is a natural habitat of a millennial. This.
Old generational stereotype is old. How about something a tad fresher to parody? Just a thought.
This is Wes, and like most millennials, he lives in his parents' basement.
I refer you to my last comment.
What's it like being a millennial?
I'm glad you asked. It is crap. Between being represented by someone who sings endless praises about our generation and never dares to consider our collective flaws, such as a certain red-headed Canadian and the media using straw person representations of us, I cannot rest easy most nights.
Sorry? What's the difference, say, between being a Gen Xer and being a millennial?
Well, Gen Xers don't have a blanket term that truly covers two generational cohorts. Seriously, no, millennials is a term that covers Generation Y, 1980 to 1995, and Generation Z, 1996 to around 2009. One did not grow up with lifelong access to wireless technology and the other practically did.
I, like most people, have trouble communicating with millennials. So I went to leading millennial expert Dr. Alan So, author of the best-selling book, Generation Why Not Call Them Millennials.
Millennials have difficulties talking to one another, quite simply because they never had to.
While this part is spoofing an ageist psychologist, the part about difficulty speaking to one another holds true in my experience. The hallways at my college are usually punctuated with a distinct lack of speaking. And I have run across people with weak dialogue as a result of an over-reliance on technology.
Instead, they rely upon text messaging services and instant messaging to get their point across.
I will say this right now, Alan So is by far the most convincing member of Twixters in this sketch.
Armed with new knowledge of millennials, I went back to talk to Wes for a second time.
Alright, millennial. I'm going to try talking to you now in your native language.
Okay, this video is transforming from a parody into a weak-smear campaign against the 60 Minutes report this is supposed to be satirizing. Morley Safer was never this demeaning in the report.
Frankly, it doesn't surprise me that he's not responding to you. This generation has a totally different outlook than that of the past.
Yes, totally different. We want to defy the status quo and radically change our world, just like, I don't know, every other generation ever.
They want to be paid more for working less.
That's disgusting.
If that part weren't sarcastic, I would agree.
What?
They want to be paid more for working less. That's disgusting.
What is wrong with you?
He is a hit-and-miss comedian wearing rose-colored glasses towards his own generation. I'm sorry I repeated that, but it's true. Just check out his open letter to baby boomers video, if you don't believe me.
What is wrong with you?
I can be quite harsh at times and, oh, you're asking the other guy. Never mind.
It was at this point I asked myself, what would Jane Goodall do?
I will skip over the part about video blogging, because it is pointless and continues this parody's transformation into an all-out bombast against its source material.
Millennials are narcissistic praise hounds and need constant coddling and encouragement to correctly respond.
I have actually been classmates with so many so-called praise hounds, it's astounding.
The coddling incentive.
Alright, Millennial, I know we've had some trouble communicating so far.
Screw this, I'm skipping ahead again.
What does this mean? I don't even know what a millennial is. How does that connect? What?
What's it like being a millennial?
Overall, the sketch was hit and miss. While it seemed like I was rather dissatisfied with the sketch as a whole, Alan So did a nice job as the ageist psychologist, and the guy playing the millennial interviewee was solid as well. The sketch tripped up when it tried to make the reporter seem demeaning and prejudiced, amping up those qualities to the point where the parody of Morley Safer was more obnoxious than funny. Definitely not one of Dan Speerin's funnier sketches, which is disappointing considering that the sketches in his YouTube page are usually pretty funny and witty. That is all for now. Bye bye.